Brian Jones, a California state senator, one of the voices of reason in California, is in the midst of things. Your tax dollars at work in Sacramento. I know one of the big deals coming in, along with the gas tax going up again next Monday, is this background check for ammunition. And it comes out of horrific events where a gun is involved. But, of course, Sacramento reacts like the gun does the evil doing and not a person, right? So this is the new thing, and they're just getting started. I know there's always probably a bunch of bills out there to steal that kind of Second Amendment freedom, right?
Right, absolutely. And I don't know if can you hear me? Okay, I'm using a headset. So
come in, please. We hear you. Over. Yes.
Oh, great. So on that note, the gun bills and all of that, and the insanity of the non-logic in Sacramento of impacting legal gun owners. So I don't know, Mark, if you saw or heard about the case up here in Sacramento on Friday afternoon, the young lady police officer that was killed in a basically ambush-style execution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, horrible.
So the shooter in that situation he shot the police officer. She's bleeding to death on the front lawn of the house. And the shooter is taking shots at other police officers who are trying to, get to her and save her life. They have to call in the armored car. She's lying there for 45 minutes, dying because the other officers can't get to her because the shooter has a high-powered, illegal ghost gun, by the way, what they call ghost gun. Mm-hmm. And one of the assembly members in the Capitol actually had the audacity to say on Monday that if his bill outlying ghost guns had passed, that this would not have happened.
What are they drinking? What are they smoking? Medicinal marijuana? Recreational? It's
appalling to me, Mark, that somebody would, first of all, have that thought. Yeah. And then think, I have lots of thoughts I don't express verbally, but then to be comfortable enough in the state capitol, in the assembly, to actually say that police officer would not have been murdered if his bill would have passed because it outlaws ghost guns. Like, this shooter would have cared about his gun being – it was an illegal gun anyways. He built it from scrap pieces in his garage. Yeah. And there's no way he would have followed any law.
Well, that's the point. I mean, the evildoer at Chabad of Poway, who ended up killing one, injuring others, including the rabbi, while he had, I believe the gun was legally obtained, there were other issues, and we have tons of laws on the books. They have to be enforced before they layer on more laws. And I always go back to 3-4 years ago with the San Bernardino shooting, that I believe the number was 9. The first shot that dynamic, horrible, evil-doing duo did when they started their multi-death attack, there was 9 different laws, local, state, and federal, that just went away because they don't care.
Well, and multiples. And I'm glad you mentioned Rabbi Goldstein. As I've said, I think on your show, and we had our big dinner on Saturday night. We showed a video of him. Mm-hmm. That guy is an incredible testimony of human fortitude. He's my new American hero.
Oh, yeah. And for him to go in front of the UN, that band of lunatics back there, and to just say, here's what happened, and give them, like we played at the start of the show, like 5 minutes of blow by blow, here's what happened. Here's who got killed. Here's who was injured, and we're not going to stand for this, and then go into a message of peace. That is so foreign to a majority of people in that august body. So that was awesome.
God's using him in a great way to be an ambassador of reason. First of all, an ambassador of love and grace. And, here's what a lot of people miss in his story. And he says it, but it kind of goes unnoticed. He lost a finger. His finger was literally shot off in that scene. And he still had the presence of mind and the strength to continue to serve his community there, his congregation, and get them out of the building, protect them, and engage the shooter so that nobody else so he limited the number of people that were injured.
Yeah. Brian Jones, California State Assembly, here from the San Diego area, servant in Sacramento, one of the people who actually thinks clearly up there. Of course, this being the summer and moving on to an occasional break and then longer than occasional breaks. What are you watching right now? Because I know the next week people say, why is gas going up again? There's a lot of people who just don't remember that gas tax gets phased in so that we don't notice, but we do. Highest gas taxes in the nation.
It's going to go up again in the fall from what I understand, too. Yeah. So the increases in the gas costs are not, they're going to continue to go up. We're also coming into the hot part of the year for electricity. So, our electric bills are going to start going up. SDG&E does have some programs to help people level
They've got that
pay.
time of use thing. I want them to take that stupid talking watch on television and just put him beat the snot out of him. I just opted out of the time of use the other day only because it made no sense for me. And and one of the things that they haven't, if you try to do that, for those who haven't done that yet, and they'll blame this on state regulators and what have you. I'm not picking on SDG&E because they're great people. Sounds like Trump. Great people, wonderful people.
Yeah,
but when you go through and you opt out, it asks you about 3 times. Are you sure you want to cancel this? It's like, you mean to cancel what you're forcing me into July 9th? Yes, I want to cancel that.
Yeah. One of the things that folks in the privately owned utility areas need to understand is, they're a private company, but they're completely regulated by the PUC.
Yep.
So they're basically a quasi-government because they're told what to do, when they can do it, how much to charge, what to charge, who to charge.
Well, they even tried to get rid of, and I know a lot of times the power companies, not just SDG&E, will go to the California Public Utilities and say, we'd like to request a rate increase, and then the state says okay, and then they say, well, the state okayed this increase, and they act like they didn't initiate it. But in the time of not the time of use, the high usage fee, in the last couple of weeks, I think, SDG&E went back to the PUC saying, we'd like to get rid of this high use fee. And they said, tough. So,
Well, back to answering your question, what we're watching up here, we're watching, obviously, the PG&E bankruptcy deal. The Standard & Poor's and other rating agencies have told the state that they have to figure out a solution by July 12th, or they're going to start downgrading the investment quality of the stocks of all the investor-owned utilities. So that's a statewide issue that we're watching. We've got several budget trailer bills that have passed. We passed the regular budget on June 15th.
Yeah.
But then in the following weeks, there's a dozen other trailer bills, what they call trailer bills,
they
meaning
just
they
keep
follow
chipping away.
the budget, that actually enact the budget, spending more money.
Well, no, there's still billions of other things, these unfunded mandates that are out there lurking, hundreds of billions of dollars. Billions and billions. So keep an eye on that. We'll talk more as you continue being vigilant, even during the summer. We can give this deep thought as we have brownouts and blackouts because the grid gets overloaded when it gets too hot. We'll look forward to that.
Right.
All right. See you later, Brian.